Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and today I am back with this series of what if history started over. Now I've gotten a lot of complaints about how none of this makes much sense, and that's going to be a part of the lore now because we're going to get into the age of documentation. And basically the reason that all of this has been just so random is one, because the series in general is just random stuff for fun, and the second part is that it wasn't exactly all documented properly. Anyways, let's get on to the video. There's going to be a bunch of men over here in the Kingdom of the Nile, and they're going to be going all the way up to Crete with their plans. They go over to the mainland here, and what they're doing is getting a bunch of troops and men, and they want to break away and form something up here. So that is what they will do. They will be represented by the color purple, and their men go up and colonize these lands. They go further, trying to connect with the other coast. They do a bit of wacky exploring, but right before all of it falls to the purple, the yellow people are gonna want a little bit more. So that is where we will draw the new borders. The yellow people will get a little bit more land, but nothing too big. The exact reasoning is because, well, these people were expanding there and they wanted that land. And there we go. We have our border now with the newest country on the block. Now this country is absolutely huge, considering that, well, they're just a bunch of explorers and soldiers from the Nile, but they will do some quite impressive things. But now they have to pick a capital, and this is going to be the first fully democratic nation, by the way. They're going to pick their capital over here just because it has strategic value all the way over here. They just want it like that. But they're not the only ones that want to expand, as we have the light blue people, we'll call it, and they go over and take the island of Sicily, and they go on to the boot of Italy. They're going to work their way up, and that is where they want to set up base for their new country. This will be a monarch. This is the only democratic country. And where will the capital be placed at? Their capital will be placed right there. And now that we have two new countries, let's take a look at how the world would react to these new countries existing. First of all, the green team, also known as the Kingdom of the Nile, they'd be like, why did you do that? They'd be angry. They're angry about this. Mainly because they could have gotten a lot of that land, so they might have to fight a future war over those lands. The orange people are I'll call them the Carthaginians, just for some historical parallel. They're like, go do it, stop the Nile. They don't like these, though. They don't like the people in Italy. But that's not the only countries starting to exist. We have a new country existing here. We're filling up a bunch of different colors now. Basically, the Middle Kingdom's colony just decided to break away. And to be honest, that's deserved, They weren't treated the best, so they decided to break away. With all this documentation, that's how we have the knowledge of all this to the modern day. Now, back to some regular stuff. The blue team is tired of just standing still. They want to do some expanding, so they send some explorers out to conquer these territories around here. Get to there and conquer those territories. They also push out a little bit from here, but most of that's desert and they don't want to deal with that. So they don't expand out too much. Basically just trying to work their way around. Eventually get that island and mark their way down to the other side of the coast. But that's where they'll stop their journey, as they need to mark up the new border. New border will be a little bit wacky, with this being the new border. Will people recognize this border? I don't know. We don't have that documented just yet. But I'm going to say yeah, for the most part, they'd recognize this. And now the blue country, or Persia as it's known as, is now looking pretty strong. Over here, they will also do a load of expanding into modern day Indian territory. They go down and expand around there. They take around here, but they don't want to go much further. They also go around here and take those territories. What's the reasoning for this? They want to expand their knowledge other ways, like to different parts of the world. So that's what they're trying to do here. But they find out that there's not really any people living here, so I guess it's their time to move in. So they take more territory, and inevitably get to these borders. Also, the map maker really needs to stop having all these random black dots around. I know they're probably part of geography, but like it's annoying. So now we have the pink team doing really great. They've just basically almost doubled, maybe even tripled. I wouldn't go as far as tripled their land, but they made at least a double of their land, which is always great for them. These countries are doing good over here, but, you know, how good is this one? They just recently got their independence, so they're most likely going to go to war. War with who? The yellow team. Let's take a look at how this war will go. Now, these people have built up a lot of troops for this war, and they'll just start to invade the Middle Kingdom. They'll push in from creating a huge front, and here is where the yellow team gets backstabbed by the Kingdom of the Nile. There's a race to capture the city, which falls to the new independent country. I don't have a name for it, so that's why I struggle to come up with a description. They eventually go and capture coastal territories. Again, they don't have that strong. They're not that strong to go into like the Middlelands. They need to keep it close to the coastline for obvious reasons, because this is still ancient times. And right around here is where the government collapses. But what land will be gained? We will discuss that now. First of all, they don't gain any land, but they have to swap governments here. First of all, they lose these lands. That's going to be a new independent country in a second. They lost their founding lands, which is pretty goofy, and they changed their capital to right there. It's called Istanbul, not Constantinople. And a new country exists, which will be a puppet state to this one. So yeah, a bunch of new countries exist now, which is cool, but we need to expand on the lore. So over here in the orange country, over here in Carthage rather, they're gonna start being over here, and they are building up an army, a population all around this city here, around this urban area, which is why they're gonna change their capital city. They're gonna post it right there, and their old one is no more. Why did they get rid of both of them? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, with their capital changing, their people will start to change as well. They want a more expansionist policy, and so the government has to follow with their citizens. So they're going to flood into what we know as Iberia. They're going to try to capture the coastal territories here, just around here. They'll also manage to push up here and capture that. Around modern day Portugal, they get the Canary Islands and go around here. They wouldn't take too much land, that's their ambitions. And to be further, and they don't even want to get this, so they set up a zone for a new country to exist. They will keep the Canary Islands, but a new puppet government will be installed into the main Iberian coast. It's actually so close, I need to change the color. Yeah, a new puppet government is set up. Once again, we need a new capital. I believe they'd put it right here, which is a pretty good location to keep it at. Into the near future. But we've yet to talk too much about the purple team and what they want to do. Their goal is basically to grab as much land as possible. They want to dominate all of Europe. Like, they want to go through here into at least the known territory and conquer all that. Also around here and into there. That's their expansion goals. And as you can see on the map, that'd be like easily the largest country by far. But they won't get to do that. I know, shocker. And as the last event of today's episode, we will have the blue team start to expand. Or the light blue team. They will start to expand up the peninsula up until they reach some mountains, which would be around there. They would also go and capture these two islands. And this is where their new border will have to be settled. And this kind of looks like Italy, so you guys, again, come up with names. Considering that I post these like every 2 days. Come up with a name for for all these new countries, actually. I hope you liked this video, and I hope you liked the new age of, documentation, so I can more fittingly describe the events that are happening now. I hope you guys liked the video. I already said that. But I am pushing to get 150 subscribers by the end of this month. You guys could help me out by doing that if you aren't subscribed already, but just subscribing. You will see more of this content, and as always, have a good day and goodbye.